this.
Be live.
You know how I always say,
You gotta wait. You gotta wait for the thing.
wait for the thing. No announcements.
We're live. Now
We
for real.
are live.
Hey guys.
Welcome everybody to Lais and the Coach. She is Lais and I am the coach. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
We have been gone for a week. Last week we were in Tennessee, which is why we didn't do the show, but we have been on a roll this year.
For real.
We've had several weeks
Non-stop.
in a row where we're doing the show consistently.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this is the first episode that will be just her and I, because we've had guests every week coming too.
Yep.
So a couple things we wanted to talk about today. We actually were chatting about what we were going to talk about this morning, but then it spiraled into a different conversation
It always does.
because there's just so many things going on. And I think that one of the things that we wanted to go over is kind of how the dynamic works when we live together, work together, do everything together. And then still maintain the ability to kind of balance things out, I would say, right?
For sure.
So just to give you guys a little bit of context, the year started and it's been like just non-stop things, not just work things. Again, we have this trip that we just went on to Tennessee. We've got another trip in April to Arizona. We've got a show the week after that. Juniors had tournaments. There have been a multitude of things going on back to back almost every weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend we have the WBFF workshop in Orlando on Sunday.
Yeah.
Next weekend we have our team in town for their photo shoot for WBFF Orlando in April. And then a couple weeks after that,
Projects.
we've launched a couple new projects. If you guys haven't seen, we launched the Metamorphosis project, which is kind of a like that big goal project or process or program that we've hinted at several times. A lot of the people that we coach may or may not want to get on stage, but are still looking for that bigger goal.
Yeah.
So we've decided
transformation.
to create a program that's very similar to what we do with all of the team members that compete. And basically what it would be is a transformation program culminating in a photo shoot here in Central Florida.
Yep.
And what we want to do is recreate everything that we would do with our team, except that none of these people are actually going to be getting on stage, but they are doing all of the same things. Same transformation, they're going to train hard, they're going to be consistent, and then at the end of their target date or deadline, like I said, instead of getting on stage, they would do a private photo shoot, where we take them out on the town in their new bodies, so they have a new outfit, and we're going to party it up.
Yeah.
We're also going to immediately get them started on the next phase of their journey. We're going to have a group workout in person here. So all those things. We launched a transformation program for 2022. This one's for guys. Kind of the same thing. A lot of the guys that I coach and a lot of guys that I talk to are just kind of letting themselves go. They start to work a lot or they start to do a lot of other things and their fitness goes in the tank.
It's funny because I feel like women feel like they're the only ones that put themselves on the back burner, but guys do it just as much.
100%.
You know?
And the thing with guys is one of the common denominators is that they're always going to get to it, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna do it. I got time. 3 years go by. You let 3 years go by, and then every decision that you make inside of that time frame adds to where you are right now. And again, men or women, these are just names of programs that we create, but men or women, you want to be around, you want to live a healthier lifestyle, you want to have quality of life, more energy, more endurance, more vibrance. If you're a parent, you want to be around for your kids. If you're in a relationship, you want to be around for your partner. All of those things matter. And the truth is that if you eat in a way that supports those things, in a way that makes you feel good, in a way that supports a healthy body, and you exercise in a way that does all that, yes, you will transform the way you look and you will feel better, look better, but you will also be around longer and enjoy that.
And everything spills over into every area,
All the energy that you get from doing all of those things, from eating better and training spills over into work. You'll be able to work more, right? You're so committed to work. You know what? You want to work longer hours, work harder, work more efficiently. Train right, eat right, watch
Take
what
care
happens.
of yourself. Yeah.
Take care of yourself. We have that. We have, there was another program that we launched. We have a Gluten Core in-person 4-week workshop here in Central Florida.
Yeah.
And if you are on our email list, today I sent out an email to see if anybody would be interested in doing a virtual version of that Gluten Core program.
We had a lot of people that were like, I'm not local, or whatever.
And we've done those in the past.
Yeah, we've done them. We've done them both ways, in person and online. But this one, when we announced launching it just in person. But I think that we were talking about how so many more people could be a part of it and take advantage of it, regardless of where they are. And I think this day and age, like, that's the beauty of.
So if you're on our email list, that email got sent out earlier today. Check your spam, check your junk folder. Sometimes they get filtered. If you're not on our email list and you do want to get on, just send us a message and we will add you to that. But all that got sent out today.
Yep.
In addition to that, we have, like I said, we have our team competing April 16th. Then we have another team competing mid-June.
11th.
We're going to Vegas. Like we've just got a multitude of things
Full year.
that are happening all of the time. But at the same time that they're happening, other things come up. We are scouting facilities to open a gym here in Central Florida. I'm launching a certification in July, and we've had
so exciting.
Yeah, we've had a few people ask about that. If again, I'm not going to go into detail on it, but basically the certification is for coaches on developing the ability to coach a little bit more efficiently, like how to add context and better communication to your coaching style, how to actually apply the things that you would learn in a regular certification. Because I think that one of the things that gets missed is, like, you go to a certification to become a personal trainer, and they teach you fundamentals, right? They teach you to push, you pull, up and down, you squat, level change, but there's no application of that when it comes to another human, right? Because every human that you come in contact with is different.
Yeah.
And you may know how to perform a push-up and a squat technically on paper the way you're supposed to, but you really don't know how to interact with a person, and you don't know how to coach them or scale that up or down or progress that, so that's missing in our industry. And we are launching a certification. We have a partnership that we develop, and I am in the middle of writing all of that. We are hoping to have, we're not hoping, we will have our first live class in July, and then we're going to have an online program. We'll have a couple other things launched throughout the course of the year.
So exciting.
So many things.
So many projects.
Right? And in addition to that, we're parents.
Yes!
We
are
have,
parents.
Bree just got her driver's license.
Oh,
that is beyond stressful.
Yeah.
Junior is, taking over the world.
He's 25 years old.
If you guys haven't watched his YouTube channel, like, he just started a new series, the Chew Fighter. Like, his episode is really good, and I'm not saying that because it's
our kid. Because he does
right?
plenty of other things where we're like, oh, that's
right,
cute.
And if you watch what he's doing, like, the amount of diversity in how we think and how we approach how we're going to manage him is not standard,
It's not simple.
Because we have to navigate through a lot of different things on what we think might be right and what we think is going to help him. Because there's a lot of unknown territory when it comes to,
parenting the
way that we parent.
Yeah, and we've talked about that a few times. A lot of times I think people watch from the outside and they think like, oh, they homeschool. Like, that's not really what we do. Like, yes, he does follow a certain curriculum for now because he's so young, and we want to make sure that he gets the basics and the fundamentals. But that's a very small portion of his day and of his life in general. It's just enough to do what needs to get done and to get through the basics. But everything else is kind of on the spot. It's like very conscious parenting, very like a lot of self-awareness, a lot of like, are we, doing what was done to us? Are we reacting this way because we have certain stories, right? So it's like, it's a very like, not only hands-on approach because they're both here all day with us, but also situation by situation and hour by hour, like analyzing who they are and how they are and what they need and what they don't need and how do we say this. And teaching how to communicate, like just so many intricacies that we were not taught, right?
And honestly, just even what she just said now, that they're here all day, right? That's literally what we wanted to talk about today. Because the same way they are here all day, right? And they have been since day one. We
are here all day.
We just celebrated our 9-year anniversary, right? And a lot of times we don't really discuss a lot of our personal stuff, but what a lot of people may not understand is that our 9 years are not 9 regular years. It's 9 years, 24 hours a day, right?
24 hours a day.
In most dynamics, in most couples, it's how many? It's 3,285 days, right? What people don't pay attention to is that you get into a relationship and you still go about your life, right? You wake up in the morning, you go to work, they go to work, they do their thing, and then at some point later in the day, you get back together, and whether that be 2, 3, 4 hours in the evening, whatever amount of time you spend together, if you're even together that long, and then you go to sleep, and then you're on autopilot for whatever amount of time you're together. It's very different when you are all the time together, right?
And I think people really felt that during COVID, like during quarantine.
How many people got divorced during COVID, right?
Divorced or pregnant.
Divorced or pregnant,
Only
right?
two. You either like each other or you don't.
and the reason that I bring it up is because not only is it that we are together, because if it was that we're together and one of us works from home and the other person's just home, that's one thing. But we work together as well. Like all of the things that we do together. Maybe we handle different areas of
our businesses,
the business and how we coach and who we coach, but we are in it all day long at all times.
Yeah.
And balancing having the ability to compartmentalize the work, parenting, and our relationship is something that maybe comes instinctual to us because we've never really struggled with it. But as we talk about it more, we notice that
it's not normal.
It's not normal, right? Because
it's a lot.
Because one moment we can be, we have my boards are there with all the things that I need to do. So 1 minute we can be looking at all the projects that we're doing, and the next minute all right, so where are we going to dinner tonight?
Right.
And we can go to dinner and we can keep talking about work, or we can talk about
kids
or our vacation. It's all intertwined at all times, right?
Yeah.
And these 9 years have been 9 full years, not segmented time,
24/7.
24/7.
Literally.
And as we converse with people that tell us about the things that are going on with their life and how they can or cannot make time to exercise or eat because of all of the things that they got going on, I think that one of the areas that we would like to help more with is maybe figuring out how to either restructure, reorganize, or even rethink about the things that you are doing. Because so many things get done automatically without much thought.
Yeah, I've said this about food and training, or food, and I've said this in the Brian and Carrie podcast that we did with them about just the emotional state. I feel like people think that you're just supposed to know how to navigate through life. You're just supposed to know how to navigate through your relationship. You're supposed to know what to eat, like what's good, what's bad. And, you're supposed to know that your kids need love, right? Like we don't really get guidance. We get whatever was done to us. Like what we think is a normal or healthy relationship or what isn't is whatever we've seen through family, through friends, through whatever, right? What we think is good or bad parenting is whatever we've seen and then however that feels, and then we either just do what was done to us or we pick it apart a little bit but do a lot of the same things. Same thing with food. Oh, the apple's good and the Cheetos are bad and I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just supposed to eat less.
Right.
I'm supposed to eat good.
How many of you...
But no one's ever taught you how to eat.
Right, but just like really quick, how many of you have still the same stigmas that you grew up listening to about how something is good or bad, right? Like you're not supposed to eat after a certain time. How many of you are adults with kids, 30, 40, 50 years old that still don't eat after 6 or 7 o'clock because that's how you were brought up? How many of you don't eat certain things because
white bread.
You grew up? How many of you still have to finish everything that's on your plate because you couldn't get up off the table when you were a kid? Yeah. Like how many things like that are still happening in your life
subconsciously.
because you haven't stopped to say, why am I even doing any of these things?
Yes.
It's because it was programming.
And it keeps going.
And it keeps going. And maybe your parents didn't stop to do it and they just did it to you because their parents did it. But then now you're a parent and you're doing it to your kid, and it's automatic programming without much thought behind it.
Yeah.
And I think that we are very careful about all of the decisions that we make.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of thought goes into a lot of it.
You go to school to learn math, right? And to learn English and to learn science and world history. And that's how you know those things. You go to driving school to learn how to drive. You go to college to do whatever profession you're going to do. Like, no one expects you to wake up one day or just go about your day and turn out to be a doctor. Like, that doesn't freaking happen, right? Like, you have to get the proper instruction for any given specific thing. But if you think about the school system, and not to get into that fully, but if you think about all the things that life encompasses, right? Like how you're supposed to eat, how you're supposed to manage your money, how you're supposed to handle or manage your emotions, how you're supposed to manage or handle your relationships. Everything about the everyday life, like the real shit that actually matters, no one ever teaches you. It's just through whatever's done to you or for you, whatever you observe, whatever you pick up, and it's just a cycle, and no one actually gets proper instruction. And that's why no one knows how to eat, right? Or what to, like, it's common sense, but it's not. And it's what we do all day. We all eat every day, right? We all parent, we all are in a relationship. So one of the things that we always talk about is how much we kind of like pick everything apart and pay really close attention to all of those things that are supposed to be normal, because just because they're supposed to be normal and we all grow up doing them doesn't mean that we know how.
So just to give you guys some context, because honestly we could just ramble here forever and just talk about all the things that we do, but honestly just if you find any value in any of this and if any of this is making any sense, just to give you a little bit of context to how we come up with some of the things that we come up with, is I'll give you an example with Junior, right? Like we consciously said that we didn't really agree with the way a lot of things were done in school. Really basic things like waiting, you know, like I've coached a lot of kids, and the fact that they get a certain amount of times per semester to go to the bathroom drives me nuts, right? Or that they get time to go to the bathroom, and I get it. Like kids will be kids and they'll go cause ruckus, but it's, to me, that's not normal, right? So I don't want to put my son in that environment. And Bree grew up in traditional school system, and she's the first one to say, yeah, like they'll give us 2 bathroom breaks per semester or 3 or whatever the ridiculous number is. It's like, as a human, like you have to eliminate, you know, that's part of the human process. So now the kids can't drink water, you're expected to be hydrated, and they can't go to the bathroom. If they do, like it's a mess. So we didn't want to deal with things like that, right? Like we didn't want to deal with a lot of the things that are traditionally done just because that's the way it's always been done. When we recognize that, you know what, maybe Junior's a little bit more creative and he doesn't necessarily want to sit down and listen to a lecture about world history. That's it, you know?
Right.
So little things like that made us really think about what we wanted to do. And even though he is currently following a traditional school format at home, we still have a flexible schedule where he can go through a week's worth of second grade in a day.
And then we can focus on other things.
And then we can focus on other things like building his YouTube channel, right? Which he enjoys.
Managing money.
Making
money, like all of the different things.
Right, as a 6-year-old, trying to figure out the right hashtags to use so that your video can go viral on YouTube. Like, things like that, because at the end of the day, while a lot of you could sit there and say you are hip to what's going on, you are still the people that believe your math teacher said you would never have a calculator with you at all times, so you had to learn how to do that shit. And the truth is that we are never going backwards. Nope. The technology that we have access to today is not going to disappear, whether you agree with it or not, and more is coming. Yeah. So, you know, we, again, are not fighting a losing fight. We are just adapting and evolving and moving forward with the things that are available and the possibility of just doing things a little bit different.
And the things that we think will serve him, you know? Right. I heard something the other day, you had it playing somewhere, that it's like, if there's he's always got something playing in the background, but if you're in school learning anything that you can do with your phone, you're wasting your fucking time.
100%.
Right? Like, all of that complicated math, like not for nothing, but unless you're going into a field that requires that, the hell do you need to know all that for? You have a calculator. All that world history, all you gotta do is Google it. Like, if you can Google it, you don't need to freaking know it.
Right. When was
Right?
the last time
Like-
you showed up at a job interview
And they asked you about World War
questioned,
II.
right, like, you know, give me a freaking break. And listen, you should be worldly and you should be educated and you should be able to have a conversation. But guess what? When was the last time any of you adults that are listening had a conversation about any of the
Or
wars?
used any of the shit that you
Right.
learned in
So
school.
again, like, just put a little thought. But again, that's just an example of Junior. Even with us, like, we structure our day in a way that gives us enough fluidity to make sure that we have our priorities clear. We both want to make sure that we exercise, whether that happens together or it doesn't. We both are conscious that we need to eat in a certain way because we have goals that are, you know, maybe not the norm, but we do have goals and eating is a priority. But we also recognize that we would like to have time maybe away from some of the noise that is on a day-to-day basis always going on.
Yeah.
Like, we are always looking for a new project or looking to do a new thing, and sometimes we just have to stop. And while we could, you know, maybe instead of sitting in the living room, sit in the dining room and talk, sometimes it's just better to leave the house, you know,
Yes.
and have a
In a different
conversation,
environment.
have a conversation in a different environment. So we make time to spend just time together.
Yeah.
Luckily, we have, you know, Bree's 20 years old, or is going to be 20 years old, you know, next week. That, you know, that allows that flexibility in terms
For
of
us.
the kids, but it wasn't always like that, and we're still 9 years in.
Yeah.
So making that time is just like making time to work out. You know, we all get the same 24 hours. You gotta make time to work out, and you gotta make time to eat, and you gotta make time to spend quality time together so that the relationship that you decided to enter with whoever you are with is also nurtured, right?
Yeah,
Because if you
absolutely.
don't nurture it, then what you do is you find yourself many years in, like, unfulfilled, unhappy, insert feeling that isn't good, right?
We were talking about that earlier, how people think that just because they've entered into a marriage or a marriage agreement, that the other person or that they were both kind of
Oh,
stuck
what did you
together.
say? It was a...
It's not a life sentence?
No. You said it's not a life sentence. It was
Yeah.
what?
It's an agreement?
No.
Partnership?
I don't know.
I said something.
She said something that was like, you're entering into this relationship. It's not a life sentence, you know.
Right.
It-
Like, no one's obligated to stay with. I think that that's where, like, we operate very different. Like, how we think with our kids, right? Like, I grew up being like, yeah, but I'm your mom. It's like, well, I don't give a shit who you are. If we don't have a good relationship, I'm not talking shit about my mom. I'm just saying, you know.
She's coming tomorrow.
She's coming tomorrow. But I'm just saying, like, people think that because they're your parent or your aunt or they're whatever, that they're entitled to a relationship.
That's it. People think that they're entitled
No one's
to...
entitled to shit. Relationships are built. No one is obligated to have a relationship with anybody. I don't care if you're blood. So we think of that with our kids. Everything that we do, how we act, we don't have it perfect. And I'm sure someday we're going to hear about how certain things were fucked up or wrong in their eyes, right? Because we're all different. Like, but
Right, one day Junior's gonna come, I can't believe you guys let me start a YouTube channel.
I don't know. But we are very conscious every single day that this relationship that we have with him and with Bree is a relationship that goes both ways and is a relationship that we are building and creating. It's not he's gotta love me. He's gotta tell me what he's doing. He's gotta do this, right? Well, right now he's gotta tell me what he's doing because he's 6, but it's more of like this mutual love and respect, you know, that you create with somebody the same way that we create ours. It's like, you're not stuck with me because we have a life together, because we have business together, because we have kids together. You're with me as long as you want to, and me too, right? And I think that a lot of times people will be like, yeah, well, I'm already married, so we're good. It's like, no, you're not good. Like, you gotta work on your relationship, right? Like, you gotta pay attention to it and nurture it, and everything goes both ways forever. Like, just because you signed a piece of paper or you had kids doesn't mean that somebody's stuck with you.
And I wrote a post in our private nutrition coaching group, maybe a day or two ago about
Commitment. Not a life
It's a
sentence.
commitment, not a life
Commitment,
sentence.
not a life sentence.
And the post was about, you know, the way that you do things, right? And I think that if you pay attention to the way that you do a lot of the things that you do, it's probably the way you do a lot of the things that you do. So the effort that you put in to your relationship is probably the same level of effort that you put into other things, right? Whether that be your parenting or your relationship with your family or what you do at work. And unfortunately, there's a lack of balance sometimes in what we pay attention to because we think that we are entitled to other things, right? You think that because you are in a relationship with somebody, you are entitled for them to, you know, love you for the rest of your life. So you are going to focus on work now. And you're going to give all of your attention to work because the person that you are with is supposed to just be there unconditionally no matter what. And that doesn't work that way, or at least for us, it doesn't. That isn't how we feel about it. That isn't how we think about it. All of the things that you are interested in require some level of effort and some level of nurturing so that it could blossom into whatever it is that you want to get out of it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Whatever level of effort and work you put into anything, whether it be the relationship with your spouse, the relationship with your kids, the work that you put in at the gym, the work and effort that you put into your eating, you will reap the rewards of that down the road.
Totally.
But it's because you are investing and nurturing and planting those seeds, and then the rewards come, right? But that's the same of everything. You do the work first. And I think that sometimes we feel, like you said, entitled, or we expect certain things just because.
Yeah. And
right?
then we get disappointed when it turns around and it's like, well, what did you expect would happen with your kids if you acted X,
and
Y,
then we
or
pass
Z
the
way?
blame, and we pass the, we pass the buck.
Or what would you expect to happen with your spouse if that's the way you're acting, right? Like everything has to go both ways. Like every relationship, work, like relationship in our case with our clients, relationship with each other, relationship with our kids, like everything has to be nurtured and taken care of. And I think that that's what people mean, because a lot of times people be like, oh my God, marriage is so hard. Relationships are hard work. People say that, and I'm always like, I don't think that at all. Like, it sounds so negative. Like, you have to try so hard to like this person that you chose. You know what I mean?
I think the choice of words is
that's
hard.
what I mean.
It's not that it's hard. It's that you
gotta actually put effort into
you
it.
gotta put effort into it. And I don't think that people are used to putting effort into a lot of things.
Yeah.
Period. It's not that they don't want to put effort into their relationship. I just don't think that they are used to putting effort into a lot of things for a long period of time. Because if you think about it, right? Again, we are like in the dieting world or weight loss world. If you think about the amount of times that somebody's tried a different diet, the amount of effort that they put into it initially is magnanimous, right? But then in 3 days, when they haven't reached their outcome, then the effort is gone, right?
Yeah.
And that approach is kind of what a lot of
temporary.
people, right? People put that level of effort into a lot of things.
Yeah. Even like the relationship thing at first. At first you're always put together. At first you're very nice, and then what happens, right? Like you have to be consistent in your efforts, or at least you have to be self-aware enough to know that whatever you put out is what you're going to get back. And if it's not, then that means that the other person's off, right? But then you're at least putting out what your part, doing your part.
Anyway, so that's kind of what we wanted to chat about today.
Yeah, I want to read some of these comments. Jenna Royal said it's hard to overcome. It's gotten better since we started working together.
But a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the show is really for that relatability, right? If you see a lot of the interviews or people that we interview on the show that have either gone through a transformation or gotten on stage, is so that you have the ability to hear that story from somebody else. Somebody that's going through the same experience that you're going through. Somebody that's going through the same, maybe, trials that you're going through or situations that you're going through. Somebody who's just as busy. Somebody who's got kids just like you do. Somebody who works just like you do. And still they found time to do it. And same thing on the other side. We have the same stuff going on. We got the kids, we got the work, we got the busy schedule, all of those things, but then we still managed we were working out before, right? We were literally in the garage, and honestly, like when it started, we were going to go through a quick circuit, and then that, you start to feel better when you move, right? And then it turned into an amazing workout, right? As a matter of fact, I'm ready for the NFL after that workout, right? We have that shit documented.
If you haven't seen it, it's in his stories.
Right. Anyway. There's proof.
But
my point is that a lot of times you've got to make sure that you are paying attention to the actions that you're taking and the thoughts that you're having, and not just unconsciously going through the day expecting things to happen, like weight loss, like, oh, I had a salad for lunch, probably gonna lose weight tomorrow. That shit doesn't work that way, Or I skipped out on this, or I've been following, my diet all week. I should probably be here by, those expectations based on things that you are making up are not like that.
That's what I was going to say. They're based on nothing.
For most things, right? Or like I sent my wife flowers, or I did this, so I should get that. It's like, it doesn't work that way. Nothing works that way. You do what you are supposed to do, and you put in the level of effort that you want to put in. And after putting in effort in anything,
watch it transform.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I have to say about
In
that.
any area. That was really, really good. I love that. Anyway.
So we've got our Metamorphosis program, the Mansformation program. All of those things are on both of our Instagram pages. They're on our email. We got Gluten Core. We still have spots for private immersions for this year.
Yes.
So if you wanted to come and spend the day eating, training, working on your goals or mapping those things out with us here, we do 1 and 2 day immersions, and they could be on a weekend or weekdays. If you wanted more information about that, you reach out to Luis. And what else do we got going on? We will be in Arizona, we will be in Orlando, we will be in Vegas, we will be in Miami, we will be in Atlantic City, Virginia. Have you guys been to Virginia?
Jersey, New York. Virginia is like one of my favorite places ever.
Specifically Alexandria. We were that close to moving there over the winter.
Alexandria and Washington, D.C.
It's really cool
I can't
there.
believe how much I loved it.
We found the coolest place to eat, you know?
To eat. Shocker.
Have you guys ever been out to eat with us?
Oh, Lord.
That's an experience.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and if you haven't, if you're ever in town, let's rock and roll.
If you haven't, let's do it.
But all kidding aside, stay connected.
Yes.
We've got a lot of things going on. We
have some really fun interviews coming
We
up,
have
too.
some really cool interviews coming up.
Yeah.
But we did want to come on and just chat a little bit, because you start to do these interviews and it's like we don't get an opportunity to kind of like say what's on our mind or talk about the things that we are doing or even connect with a lot of you.
And you know what? Because we have some comments here and a couple different people that are watching, whether you're watching live or not, like, let us know. I say this all the time. Like, what would you want us to talk about? Because I feel like we would never think to talk about personal stuff or relationships or parenting, but a lot of times that is, you know, like what people really want to hear or get more out of it than sometimes maybe the eating and the training, right? Or maybe it is eating that you want to hear about.
Do you guys want to
Maybe
hear
it's
more about
training.
carbohydrates? Or about how
Or
it's
supplements,
okay to eat
or
after 6 p.m.?
Whatever. Like, tell us, right? Tell us what you would like us to talk about, because I guarantee you, like, pretty much nothing's off the table.
The thing that makes a podcast or something like this work is that the ability to have a dynamic conversation, right? Because we could sit here and chat and say what's on our mind, but the conversation back is what really makes it flow. So,
for sure.
If you have questions about anything, or like you said, if there's things that you want us to maybe give our 2 cents on, you know,
we have a lot of sense
We all
to
know, like, she's very opinionated.
I am very opinionated. He says I have a comment for everything.
For everything. You should see her watching Chopped. Have you guys watched Chopped?
Oh my god.
That's one of our favorite shows. But you should see.
Me watching anything, any movie. He hates watching anything
Oh
with
my
me
God.
because I don't shut up.
She's got comments for all of it.
Yeah, I think my mom is watching. That's who I got it from. She's got a comment for everything too. So there we go.
Cheers to that. Anyway, happy Friday, everybody. We wish you all a good weekend. If you are listening on iTunes or Spotify, I think that you're supposed to like rate the show or something. That's what
Give us a
helps it.
rating. How fun!
Do
I
the
didn't know
rating.
that you do all that stuff.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, like do the subscribe or thumbs up or comment or whatever platform you are listening to us or watching.
Yes.
Do what you're supposed to do on that platform, because it's good for the show.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, and share it. You know,
Yes.
share with other people our craziness.
We're crazy.
Yeah, we will be back next week, and we will chat about some more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask questions about stuff that you want us to chat about, maybe we'll just do it before next week. Ooh.
Quite the commitment these days. Bye guys. Have
Peace
a
out,
great
everybody.
weekend.